These are the sole exercises that you must perform. Maintain your strength after turning 50. You've noticed that time seems to be moving more quickly. The body reacts differently after the age of 50. Strength and breath are no longer the same. Gets shorter, and the muscles appear less rigid. Less receptive, despite the fact that the mind the actual risk is still as acute as ever. Resides in accepting the idea that this is just the fact that it is a component of growing older that cannot be avoided in this quiet surrender, where the real enemy is present, because once we embrace that losing strength is common, we quit exercising our endurance and mobility. Yes, this is the process that might be reversed. The best aspect is that the technique is reversible. By carrying out a few easy workouts that can be done without a gym and are totally adjustable to your existing state even if you've never worked out. Prior to today, I will not only show you the workouts but also instruct you on how to adjust them to your current proficiency level. Proceed securely and provide a comprehensive weekly schedule that you can follow in your life, but please wait before we start. Put your name in the comments section along with the city where you're viewing our content. Perform 3 push-ups that I am familiar with. You may be saying to yourself, oh, the same workout as always, except believe me, there aren't many historical movements of exercise training possess the push-ups effectiveness. This exercise from the past is still one of the most effective methods for fortifying the upper body without having to any equipment at all. The push-up mostly targets the triceps in the chest and basic muscles of the shoulders for almost every motion we make within everyday life. When you push a lifting a large pot with a shopping cart or need following a fall, these are the muscles that contract. But not just additionally, the push-up works the core. The group of muscles that round the body's entire core region, including the lower back, abdomen, and even the glutes. A robust core indicates superior posture that reduces back pain and increases total stability. The fundamental shape is easy to comprehend. You put a body in a board straight position, keeping your hands and feet on the ground, and then bend and keep your elbows straight, but within this, there are subtleties in a universe of simplicity that make a huge difference. Let us now discuss modifications because this is important information for people starting over or beginning exercise beyond the age of 50. The classic body-based push-up solely supported and extended on the hands and at first, feet might be very difficult. And that's absolutely okay. True wisdom resides in honoring your initial position and developing further from there. For novices, I suggest wall push-ups and stand up for a place your arm's length away from a wall. Place your palms shoulder high and just bend, moving your chest closer to your elbows and the wall, then force this motion back. Causes the same muscles to contract as the conventional push-up, but with a little % the weight, making it ideal for construction first strength and, above all, for acquiring the proper motion pattern. When this version gets simpler, and trust me, this will occur more quickly than you think, you can advance to the push-up at an angle rather than against the wall. You can utilize a counter, a table, or the rear of a couch or any securely supported surface that is at waist level or just below. The same hand-supported principle. Bend and extend the elbows with a straight body. The greater the support's lowering challenge at some point, you can proceed to knees on the floor during push-ups. This is a superb prelude to the complete push-ups. Greatly lessen the weight, but continuing to offer efficient muscular activation. And when the conventional push-ups are incorporated into your routine and begins to appear simpler, then we have advancements such as the decline the push-up, in which the feet are raised. In this variance in regard to the hands puts more weight on the upper body, increasing the chest's workload and shoulder muscles, but equally crucial as executing while being aware of the variations the motion accurately. Despite the version you select, some of the guiding concepts are universal. Always make an effort to maintain your body straight from the head to the heels or knees. When it comes to the modified version, avoid lowering or raising your hips. This posture with a neutral spine is essential, in addition to the efficiency of the workout, but primarily for the security of your elbows shouldn't be open on your back too far to the sides. Picture them creating a roughly 45 degrees angle with your chest. This safeguards your shoulders and more effectively focuses the effort on the chest. Breathing muscles also deserve pay attention. Take a breath as you descend, and exhale while ascending, using air as an partner to increase strength and avoid hurried, controlled motions are always better than hasty and reckless repetition. Is a common error, particularly when we begin to feel fatigued. We should allow the head advances before the body. Your eyes were slightly focused on your hands to ensure your neck stays in line with your vertebrae. As for the perfect quantity, begins with the difficult. But doable, maybe just 5 repeats for each wall variant set, or perhaps 10 push-ups are already within your reach. Knees supported. The crucial element is to identify the fruitful place. Difficulty where you feel like you're working hard but can continue using the proper method while resting between sets, roughly 60 to 90 seconds or more consistently if needed. You'll experience the satisfying feeling of development abruptly. Those initial 5 challenging repetitions become 10, then 12, after which you're prepared for a new challenge for the next version of the most popular exercise for the upper body. Let's now discuss the monarch. Workouts that target the lower body. 2 squats. Should a movement be directly represents our independence in day-to-day, the squat think is that movement in life. About it, how often do you take a seat and rise from a couch, chair, or how often do you need to use the restroom? Pick up an object that dropped to the ground. This movement is so essential to our independence, is precisely what starts to become compromised as one ages unless we take some action. When you're recruiting, do a squat. Concurrently, the biggest muscular groups in your body's glutes, hamstrings, and quadriceps and strong core muscles. This enormous when muscle fibers are activated, a strong metabolic stimulant. To put it another way, you increase your caloric expenditure and physical composition. However, there are numerous advantages. Beyond appearance or caloric intake, squatting improves hip and knee strength. Joints that increase their stability improves the lower body's flexibility, something in the body that tends to decline sharply with age, and possibly the majority of. Crucially, for people over 50, it encourages the organic synthesis of the body's anabolic hormones that in charge of preserving and expanding. Sarcopenia of the muscles is the technical term for muscle loss associated with aging, is one of the primary causes of loss in older adults. Freedom and mobility. The squat is a strong weapon to stop this process, maintaining not just power but also bone density, which is another important component for aging well. The squat basically bends the hips and knees in order to lower the body in relation to the floor, and then going back to where it was before appears straightforward, and in fact it is, but the squat provides similar benefits to push-ups. Multiple iterations that can be modified to your degree of conditioning at the moment. If you're getting back to exercising after the aided squat is where many years begin. Make use of a sturdy support, such as the rear of a strong chair, to support balance as you move up and down, and it should be managed leisurely. As your strength and confidence grow, you can advance to a free squat without assistance, and ultimately, to raise the challenge, you can add components. Enjoy carrying water bottles, and little weights are excellent to begin with, or simply increasing how many times you do something is already a means to advance, especially mild modification for people with knee issues with the partial squat, in which you go as far down as is comfortable, without necessarily arriving at the thigh placement parallel to the floor. Over time, as strength and mobility enhance themselves, you'll be able to expand the range for appropriate execution. A few things are crucial. The feet should be at shoulder height. Toes pointed slightly, width apart as you descend. Assume that you're seated in a chair directly behind. This facilitates the backward movement of the hips. Maintain your chest while shielding your knees. Raised and the spine in its organic curve, not too curved nor fully erect. The knees should observe the toes' orientation without inward collapse. If this occurs, it's an indication that hip strengthening is necessary. Stabilizer muscles, which are something that, over time, the squat itself will assist resolve. One of the most frequent errors is allowing the heels rise off the ground during the movement, which typically denotes a lack of ankle flexibility and throws the entire workout off balance. If you see this occurring, you can place a tiny support, such as a towel, folded beneath your heels while concurrently concentrating on ankle mobility. Take a breath as you go down. Exhale and stretch your abdomen firmly as you ascend, particularly in the most challenging aspect of the movement. Diaphragmatic breathing technique delivers additional oxygen to the muscles, but also aids in stabilizing the spine. The squat enables a somewhat bigger volume in comparison to the push-up because the leg muscles are inherently more resilient to weariness. For novices, over 2 or 3 sets of 10 or 15 repetition is a great place to start. As your stamina grows, you can advance to 3 or 4 sets. Between sets, there may be 90 to 180 minutes of rest. Seconds based on your cardiovascular state. Don't be shocked if you experience your breathing and your heartbeat more vigorous following a series of squats requiring more time to rest. This is typical and actually contributes to the advantages of this cardiorespiratory health exercise with consistent practice. You'll discover not merely a strengthening of the legs but a notable enhancement in daily tasks like scaling stairs or rising from low seats. It seems as though the body retains its effective movement patterns. And with assurance, by including the squat using the push-up as our first workout, we are currently working on a significant portion of the muscles of the body, but an important element is absent: the fortification of the center or central area. Prior to going to the activity that will work on this crucial section, don't forget to join the channel and have consistent availability of accurate and scientifically based knowledge, which will be useful to you. Consistently enhance your physical appearance without exercise. Do one plank first to reduce the chance of injury. You must understand that the core isn't only the six-pack that may be found in magazines. The system is intricate and comprises deep abdominal muscles such as the oblique and transverse abdominis muscles, the lumbar musculature location of the diaphragm, and even parts of the hip muscles. This mechanism functions in tandem to facilitate the migration of the spine force between the lower and upper limbs and permit secure mobility in all directions. Tone loss with aging in these deep muscles is directly connected to issues like chronic lower back pain, trouble balancing, and even incontinence of the urine. The plank aids in reversing this loss, strengthening these essential muscles. It instructs the body to withstand motion in order to stabilize the neutral spine posture, and this, my friends, ability is completely essential for maintaining the health of your spine and for preventing injuries. The advantages: if the planks surpass are more robust, you'll observe benefits in your abdomen, decrease of back pain, in general posture, increased comfort in day-to-day tasks that need stability, and even in the effectiveness of additional exercises like the squat and push-up that we've previously discussed. The plank's basic version is carried out in the position of 4 points, as if you intended to perform a push-up, but keeping your forearms flat on the ground. Your elbows are used in place of your hands, somewhere beneath the shoulders and feet, separating the hips. The body creates a sounds in a single line from head to heel. Simple. Try holding this pose for we'll discuss in 30 seconds, but just similar to other exercises, we have wonderful starter adaptations. You can perform a plank with your knees on the floor, drastically lowering the weight, or even leaning on a table or a wall. Like the adaptation we described, the proper technique for the push-up is necessary to receive the advantages and prevent injury. A few important things to keep the neutral line of the observer's spine that is neither overly arched nor fully upright. The role should be the person you would anticipate if you had proper posture as you stood. Engage the core actively. This is insufficient to simply be in the role. Imagine you're bringing your navel a little closer to your back without holding your breath. Because of this deliberate activation, all the distinction, the shoulders ought to be eased away from the ears, which is typical to raise the shoulders in relation to the neck when things are tense, yet this takes work away from the core and may result in pain in the neck. Take steady breaths and under control. The propensity is to hold your breath while performing an isometric workout such as the plank, yet this significantly raises abdominal pressure and hinders performance. Dropping the hips is a typical error toward the earth, which produces an excessive amount of lumbar curvature. Another common mistake is raising the hips in both postures. The accurate core work can overload other structures, such as sets and repeats. The methodology for the plank differs somewhat because we use time to perform isometric exercises rather than repetitions. For novices, 3 10 to 20-second sets with a break between them of 45 to 75 seconds is an excellent beginning. As your stamina grows, you can extend each set's duration to 30-45-60 seconds. Setting up these 3 workouts in a productive weekly schedule is essential to getting reliable outcomes without putting too much strain on the body. Muscle healing usually occurs beyond 50. A little slower, and we must honor this rhythm to prevent harm and make sure advancement. It is best to complete each workout 2 or 3 times a week, permitting a minimum of 48 hours for recuperation between sessions that operate similarly muscular groupings. Thus we can make a workout regimen every other day, or if you would rather work out on consecutive days, change up the exercises focus. This is an idea for a weekly schedule that reconciles Monday's recovery and effort. First, a 5-minute gentle warm-up walking or joint motion, followed by 3 push-up sets in the version suitable for your present level, then 2 sets of squats and 3 more sets of planks that have been lightly stretched to complete active recovery. Day A is Tuesday from 20 to 30 minute stroll at a gentle to moderate pace. Mobility exercises are a great way to Monday-style warm-up. On Wednesday, 3 sets of squats with the potential of somewhat raising the quantity of number of repetitions. In contrast to Monday, plank 3 sets in an attempt to raise the push-ups 2, holding time a little bit. Since we have previously worked on the core, we lower the volume a lot with the plank. Of push-ups a little on Thursday. Of active recuperation, like Tuesday on these days when it's lighter, consistency is equally crucial as on the more intense days of training. To close up the week with a Friday's golden key begins with a little longer, 7 to 8 minutes, warm-up. After that, we'll go on to something else. Distinct circuit, which indicates the 3 exercises are alternated. Completing 1 set of each while getting little rest between them, followed by a repetition of the 3 circuits. This method adds a cardiovascular component of the exercise after that. Simply stretch if you enjoyed this and wish to learn more extra isometric poses for the plank that can fortify and cure your body. Regardless of our age, we're acting appropriately. Currently, a video showcasing the greatest ones for every bodily component. I appreciate you viewing this far, and may God bless you.